For this workout, you're going to want a yoga block. I recommend using a cork one. It's got about 3 pounds of resistance, which means that your body's going to get better feedback about where the block is in space. That's going to make this workout easier. That having been said, if you want to use a foam one because you're afraid of dropping it, or you don't have a yoga block and you want to use a book, whatever you have on hand is best. Without further ado, let's get started. So just like you to hold the yoga block with your palms around the outside edges. And we're going to hold it with our elbows bent, just a comfortable distance away from our body. And let's focus down on the block, and then let's look up. And do that again a few times. And notice if you're looking with your eyes or with your head. And if you're looking with your head, try not to. Try to just look with your eyes. Keep on going. 2 more. And then just close your eyes. You can let the block rest. Take a breath. And then bring the block back in, and this time bring it about to eyesight level and stare at it. And bring it closer into you until you almost can't keep focus. And then take it as far away as you can and still maintain focus. If this is a lot to do with 2 arms, you can also just hold the block upright and do it with 1 hand. These are basically just little eye push-ups, which are helping to warm up your ability to focus at different levels. Let's have 3 more. And then hold the block and take a rest. We'll take the block back up. And now we're going to raise it up and we're going to look at it with our head. So we're going to follow the block with our eyes and our head. And then take it back down to center. And then take the block down and look down. Now try not to bend at the waist. Just take the head with you. And start to lightly push into the block so you feel how your back stretches as you lift your arms up. And the corresponding movement in the muscular chain as you push your arm down. Maybe you can get a little neck stretch in there. And let's inhale as we look up. And exhale as we look down. And inhale as we look up. Give it a little longer stretch. And exhale down. And come back to center. Hold the block in 1 hand. You can either hold from the side or underneath. Either way, it's fine. And take that block out to the side and follow it with your eyes. And then just bring it back to center. We'll do that 3 more times. If it's a lot of weight for you, you can bend your elbow to make it easier. Alternatively, at this point, you could also just take your hand around if you don't want to be holding the weight. That depends on how much you want to warm your shoulders up and your own body. Just 2 more of these. Following the block. And change sides. You might notice differences in how far you can go on either side. Notice where the resistance is and let that be true. There's no need to force anything. You want to keep your alignment because we're not balanced side to side. So you're just learning about your own terrain here as you do this. And maybe this side wants to have a bent arm and the other one was straight. That's all good. What's important is that we're following our hand with our eyes and we're moving our body. Come back to center. So put the block down for a moment. Just squeeze it in between your ankles. Stand up and reach your hands out to the side. We'll just take one ear to one shoulder and semicircle this chin in to the other side. And notice how you're pulling one shoulder down. The opposite shoulder is going down as you're stretching through your neck. Now I want you to start to slide both hands down as you reach the neck out. So your arms are going to kind of reach out, your armpits are going to spread. And then come back up. We'll go up and over the top, other side. And maybe the hips lean, just keep on squeezing with your ankles. And stand. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Pick up the block. Keep the knees bent. Lift it up. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, take the block down. Put it in between your ankles or in between your knees. Inhale, stand up. So I'm going to play with my knees. I'm also going to move it to the medium setting because that's easier for my legs. And we'll just alternate between bending the knees, picking the block up, stretching up, bringing it down, putting it in between the knees, stretching, no block. You can get a little bit of a rhythm here. Just don't drop the block. Two more like this. Now we're going to alternate. So pick up the block with one hand and bring it back. And then other hand. Back. 6 more. Find your rhythm. Imagine this is kettlebells. Noticing your breath begins to coordinate. Now we're going to go back to those arm movements to the side. So pick the block up if you like using it, or use your hand. And this time we're going to keep our eyes on either the screen you're watching or fix a point in front. Open the arm out. Don't let the eyes move. We'll do 6 to each side. So the block will go out of your focus, and it will come back into your focus. Change sides. Bring the block back in between your knees. Take a little easy squat, almost like your legs could hold it. Your butt could maybe be sitting down on it. Just have 4 arm circles in each direction. See if you can let your chest kind of roll on the stability of your pelvis, initiating the movement of the arms. We're going to end with our arms up. And now we'll take one arm front and one arm back. 4 circles in each direction like this. Still squeeze the block, feel your spine rotate, and choose to either look at the back arm or look forward. Change directions. Okay, hold the block, circle a foot, change directions. Other side. Notice if you feel your foot differently. Now we're going to learn teacups. The principle of teacups is that you're imagining that you're holding a teacup on a saucer on your hand. And you're going to circle that teacup in front of you and then behind you. And you're not going to drop the cup or spill the tea. And your body's allowed to make whatever shapes it wants to make as you do this. So start to play with that concept. And notice as your hips move, as you start to shift weight, this can get as big and creative or as small as you want. But especially when it's behind you, how are you mobilizing around that? What are you doing and what else can you do? And you can do this for quite some time on your own. But for the sake of expedience, we're just going to do about 3 more rounds at my pace. Hey, not that. Let's do the other side. And now there are 2 different directions that you can teak up. Sometimes it's difficult to find that at first, so I'm not really going to ask you to change today. But if you like this, which you'll know after you finish this class by how you feel, then I encourage you to start experimenting with this concept and see if you can shift directions. Or if it inspires you to do this now, go ahead. It's also really normal to not quite remember how you got around the previous time or what you did on the opposite side. All of which are things that you can start paying attention to start honing your body-mind's ability to focus and maintain chaotic control. Which is really what we need as we go through life. Control within chaos. One more. Okay. Put it back in your thighs. Shake it out. Just bounce your heels. Clear your space. So now we're going to do 4 of these where we try to keep our eye on the block the whole time, which is probably what you were doing anyhow. And then we're going to do 4 keeping your eye on either the camera or a point further in front of you. Your movement strategy might have changed to make that happen. After 4, fix your gaze forwards and figure it out. Stand. Hold the block, look up and down a couple of times. Maybe shake your feet out. This can be a lot for the legs and the hips. It's definitely full body. And then we'll do the other side. So 4, diligently following this block in space. And after you've finished following it, this can make you dizzy. If so, just stop, look forward. It will subside. Keep your gaze forward. Getting dizzy also isn't necessarily the worst thing. You don't want to make yourself super dizzy, but a little bit of that healthy stress can help your vestibular system to find better balance. We always need to challenge ourselves to get stronger. The question is how to make that a healthy stress, not a distress, but what's called a eustress. And that's really only up to you to know. How to make yourself just uncomfortable enough that your system begins to learn, but not so uncomfortable that it starts to shut down. Okay. Block back in between the thighs. I want you to squeeze, bring your hands together and just stare at them. And close your eyes and look in towards your sternum for a moment. And look back out. Look up and look down. And take the block, squeeze it now between your hands, stretch all the way up. And then slowly bring that block down to the floor. You are welcome to bend your knees. And have you push your hands around the block and walk your feet back until you feel like you can even out the weight between your hands and your feet. Push evenly through all spots. Just shake your head a little bit. Take a breath. Filling up your spine. Exhaling, feeling your grounding and your elevation both. Walk your feet back in. And stand up. Turn your head side to side. See about your range of motion. See about your focus. And then see how you go about your day. I hope it's a good one.